Hello everyone, welcome back to another production video here on my channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at how to process guitars to get a really cool kind of distorted lead sound very similar to what you might hear in, say, hyperpop, for example. Now, I've thrown together a quick little track just now to sort of demonstrate this. I think overall it's pretty good, and I'll be going over how I did this processing. As I say, this kind of music typically has a very on-purpose, in-your-face distorted sound. So I tried to achieve that here. I'm going to demonstrate a quick little loop of what we've made, and then we'll get into how I've gone about doing so. So here's what we got so far. Okay, so this guitar is the sample I've gone and worked with here. That's with all my processing on, and if we turn it off, you can get a feel for how it sounded initially. I'm just going to turn things down a little bit because it will run too hot otherwise. So originally it sounded like this. So you see, we've done quite a lot to this sound, and I'm going to break that down, go about how we've done all of that, so you could achieve something similar. Okay, so taking a look at our mixer here, we're going to break down the effects I've put on this. Starting at the very first one, so we're going to turn everything off except that. And then we'll just go down the list. I am using every single effect slot. So I started off with some saturation. Now, I left the lows completely alone, wasn't really focused on those at all. I started where the fundamental was, and I just used some warm tape saturation and just started driving that band pretty heavily. So it sounds like this. So you see, I did this. Originally, it's down here, but you can boost it as much as you want. Even more is even cool, to be honest. And I just did this for every band. Like, I got the next bit here, did the same thing. Just broke it up into different bands and distorted it as much as I thought sounded good for that kind of sound. You want to get a lot of it because it's, like I say, on purpose. After that, I threw OTT on the sound. So without that, and then with. Just bringing out some extra areas you normally don't really hear. I thought it sounded nice. And following that, there's an EQ. It's not actually doing anything. That was just something I was looking at, so ignore that. But then we have another instance of Saturn. This is probably where the bulk of that tone comes in. So without this, versus with. So I'm using a different distortion preset that's in Saturn 2 that gives this a very nice sound. Of course, when you're distorting heavily like this, you're going to get harsh frequencies, so I threw on Soothe 2 following that, just to go ahead and tame all of those. So that's doing this, it's removing all that. And then following this, I have 3 dispersers. These are just all in different positions, just because it sounded cool. This doesn't really give us that distorted tone at all. It was just a fun little thing to add after. And then I do have another EQ that's just cleaning up the sound a little bit, rolling off some highs, dipping some mids that were harsh, and completely rolling off the lows. And then lastly on this, we do have Dimension Expander, just to make this take up more stereo field. I also have this pointed to a second mixer, which is where I'm doing this really quick, almost slap back delay. And then all of that is going into a sidechain send. So obviously if I turn on my sidechain triggers up here, throw on our drums, so that makes sense. You see, we have this really crazy distorted tone now, and I think if you just listen to it with our other musical elements, it sounds really cool. So that's really it. That's how I took this very easy, simple guitar sample and changed it into sounding like a really aggressive hyperpop lead. I hope this video has helped you out. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and subscribe for more future videos like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.